everyone. I am joined today by Fresno's very own Josh Hokit on Dana White Contender Series against Guilherme Uriel, August 19th. Josh, how are we doing today?
Awesome. Incredible, I should say.
The Incredible Hoke, especially. That's I forgot to bring up the nickname. The one of the
Yeah, there
best
it is.
nicknames in MMA. I saw you actually made your own drink recently.
So maybe one day I could actually trademark it and make it into a real thing. Yes,
Yes, no, definitely. I actually want to try that. It looked very good when I was scrolling through your
it
Instagram.
is.
I saw that and I was like,
It's good.
yeah, no, definitely did. Did you try the cranberry or no? I saw you said you were gonna try the cranberry.
I haven't. I mean, I don't drink often,
Okay.
but I do. I mean, you can't go wrong with cranberry juice, though.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? So I made that drink because a lot of people were getting on me about the Hulk drinks,
The Hennessy and
whatever. But
Hypnotic. Yeah.
yeah, but I'm like, I'm the Incredible Hulk. I'm not the Hulk, so I have to do a spinoff. And then my drink is also green, with like the
Yes.
sour apple pucker with
Yes.
some Jack Daniels, and some lime juice. And so I think it went over people's head.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to copy the Hulk, you know what I'm saying? I'm not Hennessy, whatever that is. But yeah, I need to try the cranberry.
Yeah, no, definitely. The drink looked great. But all right, Dana White Contender Series fight August 19th against Guilherme Uriel. I remember I texted you about this fight before it was officially announced, and I was like, "You're fighting your." I saw you guys were both added to Fight Pass, and I was like, "Are you fighting Uriel?" And you were like, "Yeah, I think so." I was like, "Hell yeah, let's go!" I was like, "Let's love it." So, what was your
Yeah,
reaction to that? What was your reaction to getting that Contender Series invite? How did that go?
yeah. After my fourth fight, after I stunned my opponent with the jab and choked him out, I got the opportunity. Uh, they said I was gonna fight Muhammad Ali. I don't know if you're familiar
Oh,
with that
I'm
guy.
very familiar with
And
Ali.
so they sent me him, and I accepted it. And then he said he's a 205 pounder. So then they had to find me another opponent, and so it happened to be uh, Uriel, my now opponent. So yeah, I searched him up. It seems like he has a lot of wins in the first round. I just he's not super big. He's not super fast. Not super powerful. And I think we're kind of going in there with like the same attributes. We're like the same height and almost the same weight. So I don't think he poses the threat that's gonna beat me. So it's just a typical heavyweight brawler. I think he even showed that he gets tired in the first round. So I'm prepared for everything, though. I'm sure he's gonna lay it all on the line, but I don't think it's gonna be enough.
Yeah, he definitely has to lay it all on the line. This is the time to lay it all on the line. I mean, he has no other chance to. But yes, I would agree that you're definitely more athletic, and I did want to bring that up with you here. So your athleticism at heavyweight is something that isn't really seen often. I mean, you played in the NFL. You've been D1 wrestler, right? D1 All American wrestler. So
Yes.
your athleticism is kind of just on a different level from most heavyweights, and you see that in these fights. Do you feel like that's one of your strongest attributes, obviously apart from the wrestling itself?
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so, because I'm not the biggest. I'm not the strongest, but I do got speed on myself on my side. I don't think the UFC or MMA has ever seen uh, a running back that is also a all American wrestler, So it is a completely different athlete that they're facing, and so I don't think people really realize what type of athlete I am, but I guess August 19th I'll show them.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it is insane to me because like you just said, your credentials are completely different from anything we've really seen before. I mean, Greg Hardy was a big story. He was a defensive end, and he didn't have the wrestling background that you have. There's been other guys from the NFL. I think Herschel Walker crossed over for a fight one time and whatever, but none of those guys really are as serious about it as you are, to be honest with it. I mean, you could just tell you're a different level of seriousness. You have a different drive going through you to get to that next level, to get to the UFC. And it's clear and it's very evident through your words and just your fighting style.
Yeah, I mean, football is not a good base for MMA, and yeah, you're an athlete, but I mean, football, you only have 7-second plays. Like I like to credit some of my athleticism to football, but like the mentality side, it's all wrestling, and it's not just that I know a double leg. It's the mental aspect of when I get tired, I'm gonna keep going. And so in football, you get tired, you just tap yourself out, a new player comes in. So yeah, football is not a good base for MMA.
So there's been a lot of arguments with that lately. I don't know if you've seen some of them, but a lot of people have been saying, guys like Myles Garrett, guys like, I don't know, Nick Bosa or whatever, if they had been training MMA for like a couple years, like maybe not their whole lives, but just a couple years, do you think they'd develop into like some of the top heavyweights in the world potentially, or do you think that that's a overblown argument?
Yeah, no, I was just talking to someone about this. Some of the football players, they have good mentalities, so yeah, I don't know how their body would hold up while doing the wrestling and jujitsu. I mean, it's rigorous training, in MMA. So, um, the biggest thing about them, and that's the downside of them being freaking nature athletes, and so their durability
Yeah.
it will play a big factor. That's my only question, because some of them have good mentalities on top of their uh, great genetics that they have. But yeah, it's hard to say. There is some people like that I actually know, like Fred Warner, with his mentality and his work ethic. I could, if there was money on the line, like there is in football, I could see him, you know, uh, uh, being a real threat. Like I could see him developing and learning the skill set.
Yeah, so you think it's been more mentality based than just like size and strength and things like that. You think the mentality plays a bigger role when it comes to something like that.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, they've made it so far with just athleticism, and so that's, you kind of just rely on it eventually, instead of, having to work your way to the top. And so that is the downfall.
Yeah, so your finishes have only gotten quicker. They've only gotten more comfortable, more dominant throughout your last 3, 4 fights, especially. So, was that because you signed with LFA? You feel like that lit a new fire under you? Do you feel like the being more active lit a fire under you, or was it just you continuing to get better as a fighter and just the gradual progress of you getting better?
Yeah, it's just me getting better. I mean, my first fight, I had the wrong mentality, wrong perspective, thinking I could just fall back on wrestling, and so I didn't feel like I needed to train it as much. Um, and then it opened my eyes. I was like, so, a lot of these guys, they know wrestling too. My first opponent happened to have some wrestling background, and so he was able to just do the basic wrestling get
I
ups.
mean, he
You
had
know,
the best grappling defense of probably all your opponents from what I've watched so far, and
yeah,
it's not too close to be honest.
yeah. So I mean, he was willing to give up his back and use the cage, and so that just opened my eyes of like, I need to have a more humble approach on my wrestling side, um, and train the jujitsu aspect instead of just like keeping it in my back pocket. I need to train that uh, more, because I mean these heavyweights, they just give up their back, and I need to have an answer for that. And then you start to see. I faced another wrestler, and he did the same thing, but then I went back to my old wrestling style, which I broke people down
Yeah.
when they did do that, and so I'm just getting smarter. I mean, Greg Jackson's helping me a bunch, where it's like he talks about force array. Um, it's breaking down the moves and efficiency step by step, which your mind, because you can only think about so many moves at one time, and only so many moves work, but you need to have like one go-to in this aspect, and it's all about finishing the fight the most efficient way. And so just, I mean, me doing the sport, uh, and practicing it more, it's coming about naturally.
So how is it working with minds like Greg Jackson, Mike Winklejohn? You're at Jackson Wink MMA. I mean, you've been there since, I think, was it your first pro fight? It was very early on. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, I've been here since my first pro fight.
yeah.
It's just good to just you can't rely on your coach too much. That, at least this is my mentality, because you have to think about it for yourself as well. But it's just good when you're like watching film by yourself, and then you have a question, and then you just got Greg. That's like an encyclopedia of MMA. It's like, Greg, what do you think about this situation? What should I be thinking in this situation? How should I threaten him? Where should I go to after this, sequence? And so he in his mind, he's already broken it down,
Yeah.
Like that. So it makes my job a whole lot easier,
No,
so
that's awesome.
it's good to just get a direct answer. Because I mean, a lot of coaches, sometimes they can't even answer that question, or they have a biased opinion. I mean, but he's all about the film study,
Mm-hmm.
And all about the patterns, so he's already seen that the move works,
Yeah.
so this is what you should be doing.
Yeah, he sees that that's going to be open already. His film study, I mean, is some of the top notch in the game. We know that from when they were coaching John Jones to be one of the best UFC fighter, to be the best UFC fighter of all time, So
Exactly.
that's the thing, we know and that was his big thing, the IQ, the studying, the game planning. He just knew what to do in every moment. And that's,
Yes.
you're getting that as well, which is just,
Yes.
I can't say how big that is, especially at these bigger weight classes where it feels like sometimes, especially today's MMA, IQ has been abandoned, and it's been more about just slugging it out or brawling it out, or just sometimes even having like a 15-minute gassed boxing match on the feet. Like a lot of these heavyweight fights now are just not what they used to be, And
Yeah. I mean, a lot of I mean, that's why the division never evolves. It's like it's already hard enough for the lazy heavyweights to even get in the gym, And so that's just one aspect of it. They're working their body when they show up, and a whole another aspect is working the mind.
Yep.
And so their game's not evolving, and so they revert back to what they know, and their size has gotten them to this far,
Yes.
So that's their downfall.
So, do you know how many active heavyweights there are on the UFC roster currently?
Probably has to be around 30, right?
Yeah, 29 was the last I had.
29.
Yeah, because I
Wow.
think they hit
Yeah.
30 when they signed Marcus Buchecha, and then they just got rid of Budai, who beat him. So then I think they're back at 29 now, maybe even 28. But they're at 30 max heavyweight signed to the roster currently. So it's not even about skill at this point. Like you just got to go in there. You got to win 2 fights, and you're a ranked fighter.
Yeah, it's interesting with the whole Boudet situation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he was like
7-1.
7-1 in the UFC. But I think they're going a different direction where you have to look a certain way.
Yeah.
I mean, and then on top of I don't think he speaks English, so it's bad.
I'm not sure, but he's not very promotable. He doesn't talk much either way. But
talk.
I actually do want to say I don't think they just straight out chose not to re-sign him. I do think there was an offer that he didn't like, and then he decided to do
Yeah.
so I want to say that there was an offer, though. I'm not confirming that for sure, but
Gotcha. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, because I feel like there's a handful of these heavyweights, they're winning a good amount of fights, and then they don't re-sign. So I'm guessing the offer is low, but
yeah.
everybody wants to eat, but they don't bring nothing to the table.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I kind of see the UFC perspective, and honestly, I don't want to see a guy like Boudet on TV. You know what I'm saying? That's reality. I mean, he's not the most appealing.
You wouldn't be the first one to say it, sadly.
So I don't want to see a fat guys fighting on TV. The only time I want to see a fat guy is when I'm in the Chipotle line, and you know what I'm saying, and he's serving me food. He's giving me twice as much servings on my rice and beans and meat. You know what I'm saying? That's the only time I want to see that. I don't want to see it on TV.
Yeah. So speaking of bringing something extra to the table, you do a couple different things. You do these street interviews recently. I want you to answer about how you got into those, but also, can we expect another crazy post-fight interview? I mean, come on, you've just been constantly giving us just content from those post-fight interviews.
I mean, it's only You think I'm gonna stop now?
No,
Come on now.
no.
You think it's only
just to give
it's
the
only
people
gonna get better
just to
and
give
better.
the people a sneak peek. Right before your fight with Sean Rose, your second pro fight, I was there when my friend Rush went and interviewed you, and we were sitting there, and you were telling us that you're gonna have some crazy stuff to say post fight, and you were like, "I got some crazy stuff lined up. Like, don't you guys worry." And then you went out there, got it done in round one, and said exactly what you told us you were gonna say. So that was really awesome. Like, and I've always told people, like, he's such a chill guy. Like, you guys don't understand. He's such a chill guy. Like, what you see in that post fight, like, that's him at his peak, like, going crazy. But like sitting in a room with him, Hokit's the man, you know? Like, he's a great guy. Like,
I appreciate
of
that.
course,
I appreciate it.
but some people like miss that out, and they're like, "Damn, this guy's so aggressive and he's crazy." Like, nah, he's normal. He's normal. You're just seeing him put himself out there, which other people aren't doing. And you had that one video over 2 million views on your Instagram, and it was just a collaboration of everything you've said post fight. And I saw the comments. It reached the audience you wanted it to reach. It it was all your people. Yeah,
I feel like a lot of people agree with it too. So it's like I do feel that type of way about it, and so I don't get why more people don't speak up about it. I get that there was an era or a time period where it was a big council culture, and so you lose your job over that type of stuff. But thankfully, I mean, we're in a sport that kind of promotes the free speech, especially the UFC, at least, you know. And so, yeah, there's other jobs like I could never do this in the NFL, you know, and so I had to bite my tongue for a long time of what they were doing, and so it did make me feel a type of way. And then I just knew I kind of promised myself a long time ago, if I ever had the opportunity to, you know, speak up about something, that I would, you know, have courage to speak it, you know, and not fear the backlash, because it is what it is. I do believe that type of stuff, and it's just sad that you know, people don't speak up more about it. And I'm here to bring something to the table. I want you to remember me, you know. So through my fighting, I'm here to maximize everything though about this fight game, whether it's fighting or all the other stuff that comes along with it.
No, you definitely have gotten people interested. You know, I know a lot of people now that are either like, I can't wait to see Josh Hokit get knocked out, or I can't wait to see Josh Hokit beat some ass. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of people that are either with you or against you, but that's how you build yourself into something bigger than just, oh yeah, that's a UFC heavyweight, you know, like, no, that's a UFC star. That's a guy that's attracting fans, pulling numbers, you know, and that's how you get those contracts that Budai didn't, you know. And not to not to say he didn't deserve another contract, because I think he did. Based off record alone, I think he did deserve to be paid. I don't know how much he was asking, but I think he deserved to be paid more. But it comes with an extent, like, how much money are you actually bringing us? And if they can't justify it, then they can't justify it. And how can I argue that? You know, I don't understand business enough to argue that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're running your own business and the numbers don't line up, then you can't really make the argument.
Exactly.
So it's like everybody wants to eat at the table, but nobody wants to bring anything to the table. And so I'm willing to put myself out there. And love me, hate me, you have to pay me, you know. So, and that's how I think about it.
Well, I'm expecting Josh Hokit to bring a lot to the table on August 19th against Guilherme Uriel, DWCS Week 2. Everyone, make sure you tune in. Josh, do you have any final words or any potential preview or hint of any post-fight speech or anything you might have lined up?
Just know I'm coming for the 4th of July White House grounds UFC fight. I'm coming for it.
What are you going to do? USA versus foreigners or Democrats versus Republicans?
Maybe on the prelims, you just have like Donald Trump beating up the dead Joe Biden, you know, like before. Maybe that's, I don't know if Joe Biden's still alive or dead already, but God, that'd be great. And you just have all these little, maybe you put like Charlie Kirk versus AOC or something, Candace Owens, and maybe Candace Owens versus AOC, huh?
Oh, that'd be a good one. But
then exactly. and then you mix up the USA guys against the foreigner people. So, because if you have two USA guys, then it's like you can't really go for anybody. They're both
Yeah,
Americans.
what are you gonna do?
know?
Root for both of them? Yeah, it's
Exactly.
tough.
But
Okay.
yeah,
All
it's
right.
interesting.
All right. Well, Josh Hokit, White House card. But before that, DWCS
Coming.
August 19th against Guilherme Uriel. Make sure you check out that fight because the Incredible Hoke is coming and he is not taking any survivors.
Like that.